Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the wild world of Oblivion Remastered, specifically the unsung heroes who tag along on your adventures, the Followers. Now, let's be real. Followers in Oblivion Remastered aren't exactly known for being super useful. Most of them will jump into combat with you, sure, but others just kind of stand there, awkwardly. Still, they've got charm. Whether they're fighting at your side or just cheering you on like your biggest fan, Followers add a bit of life to your journey through Cyrodiil. Now, don't expect to turn your follower into a walking chest. They can't carry your gear. But if you don't feel like braving dungeons in Daedric Realms solo, grabbing a follower, or even a few, is totally worth it. They're like your own personal fan club / bodyguard. In this video, we're counting down the best followers in Oblivion Remastered. The ones who actually pull their weight, make you laugh, or just make the road a little less lonely. Let's get into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. Let us talk about one of the most iconic followers in The Elder Scrolls IV, Oblivion Remastered. And by iconic, I mean completely useless in combat, but unforgettable in personality. Yes, I am talking about the Adoring Fan. This high-pitched, bright-haired high elf has no actual name, because honestly, does he even need one? His entire existence revolves around you, the Grand Champion of the arena. The moment you earn that glorious title, he just appears, ready to follow you across all of Cyrodiil with endless praise and zero self-preservation. What makes the Adoring Fan so memorable is not what he does, but rather what he refuses to do. He will not lift a finger in combat. Bandits, trolls, Daedra, he is already halfway across the map before the fight even starts. If you were hoping for a companion to help you in a tough dungeon crawl, this is not your guy. But if you want someone to hype you up after every battle that you fought alone, or just need a constant reminder of your arena glory, he is your man. Or elf. Whatever. Now, here is the fun part. You cannot really get rid of him. You can, of course, push him off a cliff or accidentally roast him with a fireball, and he will die. But not forever. He respawns eventually and comes back just as cheerful and annoying as ever. So while the Adoring Fan is not winning any awards for bravery or usefulness, he definitely earns a spot on the list of the best followers purely for the laughs, the nostalgia, and the sheer absurdity of his existence. If you are playing Oblivion Remastered and looking for the best followers, you might be tempted to search for powerful warriors or wise mages to back you up in battle. But let me introduce you to a very different kind of companion, the Everscamps. Yes, those annoying little Daedric creatures that come in a pack of 4 and just refuse to go away. They are not exactly helpful in a fight, they do not carry your loot, and they definitely do not offer great conversation. But hey, they are persistent, and that has to count for something, right? You get these guys by completing the quest Whom Gods Annoy, where you acquire the infamous Staff of the Everscamp. Sounds cool, until you realize the staff comes with a permanent entourage of 4 Everscamps who follow you literally everywhere. They do not fight enemies, they do not defend you, and they definitely do not stay quiet. They are just there, existing, breathing down your neck, and occasionally getting in the way. It is like having 4 toddlers made of fire and mischief trailing behind you, giggling in Daedric. But here is the weird part. They might still be useful in their own chaotic way. Need a distraction? The Everscamps can run at enemies like clueless bait. Want to level up some combat skills? You could technically whack them over and over since they just respawn. Are you a fan of Sheogorath's madness and want to live in total absurdity? Perfect. The Everscamps are your guys. They are not really followers in the traditional sense, but they are definitely unforgettable. If you are exploring the wild and twisted lands of the Shivering Isles in Oblivion Remastered, then you are in for a treat, because 2 of the most stylish and loyal followers in the entire game are waiting for you there. I am talking about the Golden Saint Escort and the Dark Seducer Escort. These 2 are absolute units when it comes to melee combat, armed with their own unique armor sets, shields, and sharp-edged weapons. They are sworn to protect their lord, which means you, without question, and they will throw themselves into danger just to keep you alive. But here is the catch. You can only get these followers after completing the quest called the Prince of Madness in the Shivering Isles expansion. That is when they become available to follow you around. And while they may look and feel different, one radiating golden pride and the other channeling dark mystery, They function almost identically. They are both melee-focused warriors. They both carry a sense of divine duty. And yes, they both have a flair for dramatic entrances. If you are going into battle deep within the Isles, they are more than capable of holding their own beside you. Now, before you get too excited and start dreaming of bringing your new besties back to Cyrodiil, I have bad news. Unfortunately, they are strictly bound to the Shivering Isles. You cannot take them with you into the main game world. So while they make epic companions during your time in this surreal and chaotic realm, they are more like temporary guardians than long-term bodyguards. Still, for what they are, the Golden Saint and Dark Seducer escorts offer some of the best follower experiences in the game, especially if you are craving that unique Shivering Isles vibe while you reign as the new Mad God. If you are diving into Oblivion Remastered and looking for some of the best followers the game has to offer, then you seriously need to check out the Dark Brotherhood Murderers. These are not just your average tag-along companions. They are a trio of cold-blooded, fanatically loyal assassins who have your back in every fight. But here's the twist. You do not get them right away. First, you have to climb the ranks of the Dark Brotherhood, complete the Honor Thy Mother quest, and restore the Sanctuary to its former glory. Once you become the Listener, that is when the real fun begins. Now, what makes these followers so cool is that they each fill a distinct role. You get an assassin who rushes in with dual short swords, a mage who bombards enemies with damage spells, and an archer who keeps things quiet but deadly from a distance. It feels like assembling your own personal death squad, and each one brings something different to the table. They are not just standing around waiting to get hit either. These followers have unique attack patterns, making them feel more dynamic in combat than many of the standard followers in the game. Of course, with great power comes a little bit of creepiness. These guys are fully devoted to Sithis and the Night Mother, so do not expect warm hugs or small talk. They are unsettling, whispery, and sometimes pop up out of nowhere. But if you can get past the spooky vibes, they are incredibly useful in battle. And the best part? They respawn. So even if one of them bites the dust, you will not be left alone for long. Honestly, if you are running a Dark Brotherhood-themed playthrough, these are must-haves. If you are diving into Oblivion Remastered and you are looking for a follower that actually pulls their weight in battle, let me introduce you to one of the most underrated gems in the game, the Mage Apprentice. These followers are not just your average sword-swinging tag-alongs. No, they are students of the Arcane University, and they come equipped with a deadly arsenal of spells. You unlock them after completing the Confront the King quest in the Mages Guild questline, which, honestly, is a solid quest with some great storytelling and magical chaos. Now, what sets the Mage Apprentice apart from other followers is not just their ability to do damage, it is how they do it. While your typical companion might be swinging a rusty blade at a ghost and wondering why nothing is happening, the Mage Apprentice is already blasting away with fireballs or shocking enemies with lightning. Ghosts, spirits, wraiths, all those spooky enemies that laugh in the face of steel, are no match for a follower who knows their way around destruction magic. It is actually pretty satisfying to watch them burn through enemies that would normally take forever to kill without enchanted gear. Plus, they are not just good in a fight, they also bring a bit of personality to your adventures. These are characters who have studied under the Archmage after all. There is something cool about knowing your follower did not just show up in a tavern and ask to tag along. They earned their place through magical training. If you are rolling a mage character yourself, having a Mage Apprentice by your side really makes the whole playstyle feel more immersive. So yeah, if you have been sleeping on this follower, give them a shot. They might just become your go-to magical backup. If you are wandering around the west of Chorrol and happen to stumble upon Battlehorn Castle at the end of the Black Road, do yourself a favor, claim it. Because once you do, you are not just getting a fancy castle with some nice views. You are getting your very own squad of loyal, sword-wielding warriors, the Battlehorn Man-at-Arms. These guys are not just for decoration either. They take their job seriously. One minute you are a total stranger who just cleared out a few bandits, and the next, they are calling you "My Lord" and offering to die for you. It is kind of flattering, honestly. What makes them so great as followers is not just their loyalty, though that is definitely a major plus. These soldiers are fully equipped with steel armor and longswords, and they are always ready to throw themselves between you and danger. They will patrol your castle, giving it that proper noble vibe. but they are also more than willing to accompany you out into the wilds of Cyrodiil. Whether you are dungeon diving or just taking a scenic stroll that somehow turns into a necromancer ambush, the Battlehorn Man-at-Arms will be there, cutting down anything that dares to raise a hand against you. Now, are they the most powerful companions in the game? Not really. They are not going to be soloing Daedra or taking on an entire cave of trolls by themselves, but that is not the point. What they lack in overwhelming power, they make up for in sheer dedication and that classic knightly aesthetic. Sometimes, having someone by your side who looks like they came straight out of a painting in the Imperial City is exactly what you need to feel like a true lord of the realm. Plus, they will never abandon you, never question your decisions, and always be ready with sword and shield in hand. That kind of loyalty is rare in Tamriel. If you are diving into Oblivion Remastered and looking for some solid followers to back you up, then the Knights of the Nine are absolutely worth checking out. These guys might not have the most charming personalities. Actually, they barely talk at all. But what they lack in character, they more than make up for in loyalty and strength. Once you complete the Umaril the Unfeathered quest in the Knights of the Nine questline, these holy warriors become available to follow you into battle. What makes them stand out is not just their shining armor or Templar aesthetic, but the fact that they are incredibly reliable. Each knight comes equipped with unique weapons, shields, and that iconic Knights of the Nine armor set. You are not just getting a follower, you are assembling a divine squad of justice. The coolest part? If one of them falls in battle, you do not need to worry too much. They will respawn after 3 in-game days. It is like having your own holy backup system on standby. And let's be honest, fighting Daedra, necromancers, or whatever else Oblivion throws at you feels a lot better when you are flanked by a squad of glowing silent warriors in full plate. Sure, they might not crack jokes or offer side comments, but sometimes you just need someone who hits hard and looks intimidating while doing it. Whether you are storming a dungeon or just want to look like the leader of a righteous army, the Knights of the Nine have your back. If you are looking for one of the best followers in Oblivion Remastered, you might want to take a serious look at the Storm Atronach. This big, crackling hunk of elemental rage is not just a flashy companion, it is an absolute powerhouse. Sure, some players lean toward the fiery style of the Flame Atronach, but when you need raw power, a huge health pool, and the ability to zap enemies into the next dimension, the Storm Atronach is where it is at. It is basically a walking lightning storm with zero attitude and total loyalty. Now, getting your hands on this beast is not just a random drop. You are going to need the Atronach altar upgrade for your Frostcrag Spire home. Once that is set up, simply bring 3 portions of Void Salts to the altar and boom, your very own Storm Atronach is ready to roll. The coolest part? You have to craft it each time it falls in battle. That might sound like a hassle, but honestly, it adds to the charm. You are not just summoning it with a spell, you are building a tanky buddy from scratch every time, like a Stormforged Pokemon. What really sets the Storm Atronach apart is its simplicity. It has no thoughts, no complaints, no weird side quests. It exists to shock your enemies and soak up hits like a champ. In the chaos of battle, it does not get in the way. It does not run off chasing butterflies, and it definitely does not start conversations with guards. It just marches into combat and does what it was built to do: dominate. For players who want a reliable, no-nonsense companion that brings the thunder, the Storm Atronach might just be your new best friend in the wild world of Oblivion Remastered. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.